So we began our day in Neuchâtel, and we first went to the church, then we went around the town, just did some sightseeing, took some photos, and I absolutely loved the vibe of this town. It had a really quiet and quaint kind of vibe. It felt like one of those towns where everyone seems to know each other, everyone gets along well. I definitely recommend checking this town out. It's not very touristy, so it still has that calmer, quieter, medieval sort of vibe. I absolutely loved it. Just a side note, but I love collecting postcards that resembles the site quite precisely, even if it's in like cartoon animated form. So when I saw this postcard, I was very happy. So our next stop was Bern, and I am familiar that in Swiss German and in French it is pronounced as Bern, but just for the sake of this video I'm going to call it Bern. I might throw Bern here and there because that's what I'm used to now, but I'll try to be consistent and call it or refer to it as Bern. We mostly spent our time in the old town. I did some souvenir shopping and I absolutely loved all of these clocks. They were all ringing at the same time. It was hilarious. It was one of those things like you just had to be there. Like every single clock that I was looking at, there was another kind of bird popping out. It was really fun. It was very amusing to me. So we spent the afternoon and the first half of our evening here in Bern, or Bern, whatever. And we had our lunch here as well. There was a restaurant called Ristorante Luce. I think I pronounced it correctly. I'm sorry if I didn't. But we had our lunch there, and I tried the gnocchi. It was one of the best gnocchis I've had, at least in Europe. It was really good. I definitely recommend check it out when you're there in Bern. It's a great restaurant. The ambience and everything was great. Definitely 10 on 10. So we decided to climb the tower. It had almost 350 steps, but the view from the top was definitely worth the effort. But honestly, it can be a lot as it has spiral stairs, so if you are susceptible to vertigo, it is okay to take a break after a few steps. And from the top, you can see the whole old town, and the river view is spectacular, especially on a clear day. You also see the Alps in the distance as well. There is also a lower viewing platform, which also gives you great views with just about 250 steps, so you can avoid the 100 steps if you want to. Also, the tower has the biggest bell in Switzerland. We didn't get to see it because it was closed, but while we were at the top, the weather changed its personalities about 3 times. Also, we spent way more time than we needed to because it was just so picturesque. Funny story, probably it's just funny for me, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. But while I was admiring the view from the bridge, my friend kept on saying, "Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see why people are gathering around the bridge?" And I couldn't tell what he meant. I thought people were also admiring the view just like I was. Then he just started dragging me to see up close what he wanted me to see, what he wanted to show me, and I still didn't see it. Then I noticed the Canadian flag, and I thought this is what he meant, that he wanted to show me Canada here in Switzerland. But he didn't mean that. Well, I'm embarrassed to admit that it took me far too long to see the two bears, and then when I saw them, I screamed, because I love attention, I guess. But, I mean, look at these cuties. They're so adorable. Well, apparently Bern, well, I'm just gonna say both at this point. Anyway, this city has a bear park and two bears are casually hanging out there. Don't miss them when you're there. So our last stop of the day was Lausanne, and since my friend goes to EPFL, he had access to the inside of the campus, so I got to see it as well. I will say from everything that I saw in the campus, my favorite part was the Rolex Learning Centre, which was the library of the campus. If I was going to EPFL, I think I would be spending most of my time there. So my friend is one of those social butterflies. He's an extrovert. So I think we were on the campus for about 2 hours or so. And in those 2 hours, he was able to meet about 4 different groups of friends. And they all spent about 15-20 minutes chatting with each other. And I was just awkwardly standing there trying to understand bits and pieces of the French they were speaking. My friend was kind enough to translate everything to me eventually. And I was actually surprised as how much I was actually able to understand. I was proud of myself. But anyway, by this point, we were kind of tired. I was exhausted because I had a fever and I had actually been traveling for a while at that point. So we just decided to go do some grocery shopping here on campus. I don't know if it was Migros or Co-op. We bought some stuff and then we went to his farmhouse and he made raclette for us. And it was actually really delicious. That was my first time trying it. I definitely liked it. And yeah, overall, it was a great day. A lot of fun activities, quite a lot of cities we hit. Very satisfying day, definitely.